Welcome to the Washington Football Post-Game Show. I am Darren Haynes alongside Charlotte McBride, and you know what? We were so excited about this game because, I mean, it's been a minute since we've been on the field. It's been a minute since we had the fans here. Unfortunately, it did not work in Washington's favor, losing 20-16 to the LA Chargers. But talk about that atmosphere in regards to those fans.
It was insane. You know, even seeing the players come out when they ran out of the tunnel, and of course, all the fans on their feet. They had the dance team out there. It was great to see that energy, and we've talked to the players this offseason. They've said they have missed that energy. They missed that last season. We all missed that last season, and I will say this whole first level was completely packed. Those fans were loud, and they were screaming the entire time.
I think one of the coolest things, and we're going to get to some of the post-game reaction. You're going to hear it first. You're going to hear from Ron Rivera, Antonio Gibson. You're going to also hear from Taylor Heinicke and his, I guess,
his big moment.
His big moment.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned. We'll get to that in just a little bit. And also comment on our Facebook page on how you feel after this Week 1 loss to the Chargers. One of the things that threw me off was I'm driving here to the game, and it's packed. The traffic.
We're not used to that traffic.
Not used to that at all.
We liked the no traffic for a year in D.C.
I was like, let me leave 15 minutes from the house to get to the game. I need to leave an hour and a half next home game. But let's speak about that home game, Charlotte. 2016. We all expected this team as the NFC East defending champions, the Washington football team, to win this particular game. And it didn't turn out that way. A lot of ups and downs that we will talk about.
A lot of ups and downs. It was kind of a roller coaster watching it because there was moments where you had the fans on their feet, some great plays, some great catches. Terry McLaurin, I know that all of you have seen that by now on social media because that is out there. But we have seen some great moments in this game, but then there was also a lot of disappointment. There were so many times where we thought they can do this, they can convert this, they can get that first down. They just weren't doing it. And a lot of problems with the defense too. Of course, we saw Justin Herbert kind of throw all over them.
So you're mentioning about those disappointments for all the fans at home. Comment on our Facebook page. The defense has been a big staple for this Washington football team. And the Chargers, right behind us, scored right away on their first drive. But then the defense stepped up, but then it was the offense wondering, okay, what's going on? And then Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt. We'll give you an update on that later. Taylor Heinicke comes in. Then they score. Then
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, it looks like then it's going to be a ball game. And the fans were electric.
Right.
And then we get a fumble in the red zone, which was literally right here, behind us. So
you saw the disappointment on the players' faces. You saw the disappointment on the fans' faces. And, of course, we saw it on Ron Rivera's face, too.
Yeah, we saw it on Ron Rivera's face. And also one of their captains, Jonathan Allen, one of our local guys, Allen and Ron Rivera spoke about the loss and all their mistakes today.
We made a lot of mistakes. I mean, you got to give them credit whenever you get a win in the NFL. You did something right, but I look at the game and I see a bunch of errors that we made and a lot of spots that we could be better in. So, I don't make it about the Chargers as a player on this team. I make it about what we did wrong, and there's a lot of things we got to fix moving forward.
Thing that was legit really is who Justin Herbert is. He's a heck of a quarterback. Got a great arm. Allen, their wide receiver, and you sit there and you think, God, this kid's pretty special. And you know that you have to account for guys like that.
So now, they don't have that much time to prepare for their next game. And we'll talk about that later on as they take on the Giants on Thursday. Looking at the media schedule, I think it's like practice tomorrow, and then they have the day off, and then I think Wednesday's a travel day. So they don't have a lot of time to prepare really at all. And one of the things they need to prepare for is because of what happened to Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's right. Yeah, we saw Ryan Fitzpatrick go down early, very early in this game in the first quarter. He took that hit and then he got up. We thought, oh, okay. But then we saw him kind of fall right back down. He was on the field. He was down for a little while. Of course, the trainers came out. The whole team was around him. At that point, we saw Taylor Heinicke immediately jump into action on the sideline. He started throwing passes, realizing maybe this is his opportunity to go in this game, and still not knowing really what was wrong with Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he did need to be helped off the field by trainers. He went immediately into the tunnel, so we knew it wasn't good. Immediately they said that he was going to be questionable, and then it wasn't long after that, around halftime, where we heard that he would not be returning to this game with a right hip injury. Again, they haven't done any tests. We just heard after the game it's a right hip injury, so they're going to do more tests and determine how severe this injury is. Of course, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a tough guy. He's played in this league for 15 years. He wants to be out here.
So, speaking about being out here, we've been out here for a few years now. Our photographer David Satchel's been out here for a long time. And one of the frustrating things about this Washington football team has been the quarterback position.
Right.
And listen,
they've gone through a lot.
Going into this particular season, and I want to read this out just in regards to this Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick, just in regards to the Washington football team, their Week 1 starter. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the 14th Week 1 starter since 2000. That is
That's
the second most in the NFL and during that span.
It's hard to find consistency at that position. That's what they've struggled
And then we think
with.
about what happened last year. You know, Dwayne Haskins was a starter. And then Kyle Allen came in and he got hurt. And next thing you know, it's Alex Smith and he came in and he got hurt.
And then Taylor Heinicke.
Taylor Heinicke. So it's like, it's literally like deja vu. So a lot of these Washington football fans, when Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt, it was like, oh no.
You saw the fans devastated. You saw the players immediately, their shoulders kind of sunk in, but then they also realized they got to do what they do best. They have to rally around the next guy, and the next guy is Taylor Heinicke. But a few of the guys were able to talk to Ryan Fitzpatrick at halftime, and then after the game, here's what Logan Thomas had to say.
I talked to him at halftime. He's in good spirits. Obviously not real sure what it is yet, but hope the best for him.
Definitely hate to see it. I hate to see anybody go down. We love the sport. We put a lot of work into it, and to see him go down, in the first game of the season, we hate that. So, I didn't enjoy it at all.
When Fitz went down, he's played in the league for, 15, 16 years. And when I went out there to talk to him, he's like, man, this is only the third time I've ever had to leave the field. So it was surprising for all of us. But, again, I think the offense handled it well, and we kept moving the ball.
Week 1, so tough to see your starting quarterback go down. Not what anybody wants in this league all around. But you know what? They signed Taylor Heinicke to that 2-year deal for a reason. They have faith in him. Ron Rivera has faith in this guy. And Taylor Heinicke has come a long way. A lot of the guys talking after the game, what's the difference in Taylor, what we saw him versus Tampa Bay, obviously in the playoffs, to now? And they said practice. 6 months of practice with this team and getting to play with this team. We've seen a lot in training camp. And he has been ready for this opportunity. I spoke with him in training camp, and he said, he's been waiting for this moment. Fitz has been a great leader. Fitz has really helped him prepare for this moment. He feels more than ready, and he said he felt good out there today. He's got to work out the kinks. He gets a little excited.
Yeah, he gets a little excited. Make sure you comment on our Facebook page. We're going to answer a whole bunch of your questions. I want to make sure we get that out because we were listening to the players, we're listening to the coaches, we're at the game. We can give a different perspective. So if you have a question for us, put it on our Facebook page because we're going to give you a shout out. We're going to read your question later on in the show. A lot to look forward to, especially the whole sewage water thing.
Oh, I'm sure you've seen that on social media.
We'll explain what that is. That's a tease. But in regards to Taylor Heinicke, listen, this is a guy who he was taking college courses, trying to get his master's degree, and then he gets the call from Washington, and he's like, hey, hold on, professor, I need to go play in the NFL real quick. And then he comes in, and right on this field here, plays in Washington's first playoff game in years. And he
had an incredible
He described it as a
performance.
roller coaster. He was like, this is a roller coaster ride for him. And you're mentioning him being prepared. One thing, yes, he got prepared in those OTAs and the mini camps. But listen, the dude got prepared because of his experience and being in that position where he needs to just be ready no matter what. If there's one guy who defines like being prepared despite the circumstances, it would be Taylor Heinicke. And that was a guy who was absolutely ready to go. And go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one thing he told me that's very interesting about Taylor, he said everyone kind of counted him out. He's not the biggest guy. We've seen him.
Nope,
he's not a big guy, but he's fast, he's quick, and he's extremely smart, and he studies the game, and he wants to be out here. And he said, one thing that he often feels sets him apart is that he really wants this, and he wants to show his doubters that he can do this, and he can be a successful quarterback in the NFL.
One of the coolest things that Taylor Heinicke did, he comes out here, doesn't have all the NFL experience, and then he does one of those little shuffle passes before getting hurt. Like, you can't teach that.
No.
That's
he says he kind of just
feels
feels it.
That comes from the heart. And the fans here, they absolutely love it. If you don't know the saying, the chant for Taylor Heinicke, but Taylor Heinicke, they were chanting that. And, he spoke about that after the game, about hearing those chants and being able to come in and play today.
It was. I did hear it. It was really cool. But again, it was just so unfortunate that it came at the hands of Fitz getting injured. So it would have been a lot better if we won the game. I'll say that.
He came out, he made a couple passes, and he's a competitor. We seen that last year in the game he played in. He came out here and showed it again today.
We got supreme confidence in him as well. Been there before, like I said, and Taylor's a baller, man. We know what we got in him.
So now we were wondering, okay, will Taylor Heinicke be the starting quarterback for the Washington football team when they play their Thursday night game against the New York Giants?
Because we still don't know, obviously, Fitzpatrick's status.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Right.
The thing that I do like about Taylor Heinicke, if he is that starting quarterback on Thursday, is like what you mentioned before. He's a guy who's prepared. He loves that moment. And what Ron Rivera says, that he provides that energy. Some of his teammates were saying he provides that energy, that spark. He did that in the playoff game against Tampa Bay last year. So, I mean, listen, fool me once, fool me twice. So if multiple people say the same thing, that Taylor Heinicke brings that energy, he brings that spark, you know what? He brings that spark.
He does. And you see the crowd on their feet. Whenever he runs, whenever he scampers, he does the shuffle pass, you see the players getting pumped. And we saw, obviously, the famous moment with Chase Young in the Tampa Bay game when he pointed to his jersey and was like, Heinicke. I can't do it as well as you.
Heinicke?
Heinicke?
I don't know. I almost popped a blood vessel trying to get that high.
Because of that, he kind of became a household name. And I asked Taylor a few weeks ago what it's like to be a household name. He said, it's kind of fun. It's different, but it's kind of fun. And he's like, I have Chase to thank for that a little bit. I'm like, yeah.
There's one thing that I think I probably will try to look up as we get towards the end of the show. Because make sure you any questions that you have for us in regards to this quarterback position, in regards to the team, their upcoming matchup, comment on our Facebook page. We're going to give you a shout out. We're going to make sure we answer your question.
Right.
But there is a number out there in regards to how many starting quarterbacks for the Washington football team over the last 5 years. Not
There's
5
been a
years.
lot.
I think maybe since 2000. I feel like there's been 20 something. Am I right?
It's a lot.
I'm going to look that up.
So if you're at home and you can look up that stat, look it up for us.
I'm going to look it up because I think it's 20 something quarterbacks. 20 something starting quarterbacks the Washington football team has had. So now that Ryan Fitzpatrick's hurt, Taylor Heinicke's going to come in. We think that number's now going to go up. But we've been talking about the offense all day.
We got to talk about the defense.
And the defense, like we mentioned, is the foundation of this football team. And they got punched in the mouth at first.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of the gate, missing some tackles. It wasn't exactly what I think this crowd was hoping for, and it wasn't what Ron Rivera, a defensive-minded guy, was hoping for. He's seeing some of his guys just not on their A game. I think we were all hoping right out of the gate we'd see some of those Chase Young sacks. Well, that's not a reality right out of the gate. It is the NFL, it is week one. So it took a little bit for them to get into this game, and I don't think we saw the full force of that defense that we wanted to see. And, I'm looking at some stats here. They gave up 424 yards to the Chargers, and when you look at what Washington was able to put up, only 250 yards. So
and
you're looking at that, and giving up 424 yards at home, week one, we said it before, and I'll say it again. Washington could have won this game. They had many opportunities to win this game.
They absolutely could have won this game. However, it was the offense that put the defense in a tough position to succeed. And we go back to that Antonio Gibson fumble. And listen, I'll probably be 80-something years old, but I'm still going to always reflect back to my running back days. You cannot
fumble the ball inside the 5.
You cannot fumble. You cannot fumble the ball in the red zone. And what we mean by red zone, meaning very close to the end zone, the 20-yard
and that was at the 4-yard line
and in. You have to hold it high and tight, and so that put Washington in a very tough position.
And that was after the defense had that amazing interception.
Correct.
And that's so deflating. That's deflating for the defense. They come up big, huge. I think it was on 3rd down when they had that big interception. And you've just felt the energy go right back up. And then the next play when Antonio Gibson fumbles it, that's tough. That's tough.
Comment on our Facebook page. Any questions that you have for Charla and I, we will answer those questions. What are some of your concerns? We want to know. We can see some of your comments right now. We want to see more of them because we're going to give you a shout out a little bit later. But shout out to the rookies.
Yeah, I was going to say a part of week one is we're getting our first look at the rookies. Now, obviously, we got to see them in preseason, but we know preseason's preseason. We don't really get to see what they're made of. So we got to see what a few of these rookies were made of today. One of them being Benjamin St. Juste, of course.
Poor guy.
4th round pick out of Minnesota. He's a great guy, hard worker. We know he's super talented. They love him. Ron Rivera loves this guy. But he is a rookie, and he was targeted quite a bit.
Yes.
And that's tough. And he didn't always make the play, and that's tough. But you know what? He's getting that pep talk, and one of the guys giving him that pep talk today is William Jackson III.
I just told him, you a rookie, so you got to expect that the ball is coming to you no matter what the circumstance is. But I just told him keep his head up. This is the National Football League. We all get paid. We all here for a reason. And we just got to just make plays. And I just tell him keep going. We got a long season ahead of us, So, people forget all about week 1 and week 16.
So again, you got to love the pep talks. You got to love that they are in this together. They are a team, and you got to love the energy that they still have because you know what? They know that it is week 1. We still have an entire NFL season to figure out all those kinks, and everyone's figuring out those kinks. They don't have a lot of time. They have, a practice and then a few days before they take the field again against the Giants, but we're hoping to see a better defense, maybe Benjamin St-Juste is going to get a few of those big plays.
Like, I feel like we should pray for Benjamin St-Juste.
Oh,
for a fact.
he's such a nice guy.
He's a nice
Love the guy.
But, man, the Chargers are going after him. You know, actually, you know what? Dear Lord Heavenly Father, we're going to pray for St-Juste to have a better game against the New York Giants. We know that he trusts in you to have a better game. It is Sunday, isn't it, right?
It's Sunday.
Amen.
We just
All
took
right.
you guys to church.
Make sure we pass the collection plate to collect some money. I will give it to the people who need it. I will not keep it for myself because lightning will strike.
I love talking about this game, but sometimes the most talked about thing can be what happens off the field and in these stands. And I guarantee you right now, people are talking about the game on Twitter, but they're also talking about an incident that occurred in the first quarter.
Yeah, check out this video right here. And this is video of water literally pouring
on fans.
On fans at FedEx Field. And the individual who posted the video, he was saying it's sewage. It's sewage. I mean, you had the play-by-play of sort of what was, but I know one guy
you
was
hear
saying
someone
it's
say it's sewage, someone saying, you know, a 4-letter word that I won't say, and people saying it's raining down on us. Can you imagine? Week 1, you're so excited, you're a fan, back in the stadium for the first time in 2 years, your team is on the field, and then all of a sudden, you get soaking wet, and you don't know what's actually the liquid. You don't know. They didn't know. So this entire game, they didn't know. And you could see the disgust. I mean, I was gagging in the press box.
Here, let's just keep it real. If I'm standing, you know, obviously to get into play the game, you know, you're paying what, $100 and something for your seats.
Yeah.
Paying $100 something for parking, $200 for the food.
Yeah, you want a great experience.
You sit down, you're already like, God, dog, I had to pay a lot of money to sit here. And then next thing you know, some unknown liquid substance is pouring on you.
Absolutely not. That's when I get up and I'm like, I'm out.
Now, one thing we do want to make clear, obviously, we verify things here on WSA 9. And so I spoke to the Washington football team, and what they told me was that the leak came from a storage tank filled with rainwater.
So it's just rainwater. If you went home and showered because you thought you were covered in something else, you can take a sigh of relief tonight. It was just rainwater. Again, no one wants to get soaking wet with water of any kind at a game. But you know what? It added some entertainment in the stands for a little bit.
A lot of entertainment, but listen, even though it is rainwater, and listen, rainwater's good until it hits like the roof and all the other stuff, and it collects all the bugs and all the dirt and stuff like
contaminated.
That. Still don't want that on you.
No.
But one thing we do know, and we want to make sure we put this out there and make it very clear. This Washington football team is definitely trying to change some things to make it better.
Right, they are.
Unfortunately, there's just always something just bad luck.
Right.
So the experience here was great. So we want to let you know, if you do want to come to a game,
it was fantastic.
I think it's highly unlikely that some water
substance, fans were great. I mean, really,
rainwater
from
a tank is going to leak on you again. So definitely come out.
So come on back.
But what would you do? Just curious. Comment on our Facebook page. Like, what would you do if you were at a football game here at FedEx Field and just someone made it rain on you and it just wasn't money. It was actually.
I will say it was close to 90 degrees. So if it was cold water, maybe it was a welcome shower.
Imagine that happening in a game in December.
That would not be welcome at all.
So anyways.
Do you want to see some reaction? Can we pull up our Facebook and see if we have any reaction?
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a little bit. What we do want to get to is, I don't know if you heard, there's some other viral moment. So that moment with the liquid at FedEx Field sort of went viral. Actually, it did go viral.
Yeah.
Another big moment, which actually happened earlier this week, was with Chase Young, one of our local stars from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, NFL reigning Defensive Rookie of the Year. In our one-on-one interview with him, we were wondering if you had to pick a name the Washington football team would not go with as their new name.
Absolutely not go with.
This is what he had to say. Chase, one random name that will not be the new name of the Washington football team. You just know it's not going to be the new name.
Bruce.
Bruce?
I use Bruce for my when I order Chick-fil-A. That's my name on my ticket. Because if they say Chase and I go up and get it, then everybody like, oh, that is him. So I use Bruce.
All right, what's Bruce's last name?
Allen. Bruce Allen.
So I'm interviewing him, and he says Bruce Allen, and I'm like, no way. So if you guys don't know who Bruce Allen is, Bruce Allen was the former president of the Washington football team. Listen,
wasn't that popular with
fans.
fans.
It wasn't very popular. They started a hashtag Fire Bruce Allen. Eventually, he did get fired after the 2019 season. Jason Wright took over, doing an amazing job with this particular team. But I can't believe he uses that name.
It's clever.
Beyond clever, it's I guess brilliant.
Yeah.
The fans love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Chase has quite the personality.
All right, so let's go to you, the fans. We were trying to get you guys to comment on our Facebook page, any questions that you guys have, or just anything you want to spark a conversation. And we have a few people. I told you I was going to give you a shout out. Continue to comment on our page because we're not done here.
Yep.
So we're going to go with Preston Bostic. And Preston Bostic says, need to get Cam Newton. They don't even have a decent quarterback on the roster.
That was definitely a talk. You heard the rumblings in the stands. You heard the rumblings in the press box. Obviously, we know Cam Newton has a great relationship with Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera coached him with the Carolina Panthers. So there was just some rumblings. There were some rumblings of that. I don't think it's going to happen just yet. I think we just sit tight. We wait to see what's happening with Fitzpatrick.
So I'm going to give 2 reasons why I know that's not going to happen. Number one will be is Ron Rivera is a guy who wants to keep the young guys on this team, and he's also a guy who doesn't want to bring a distraction to the team.
And I'm not saying a distraction. Well, he is a distraction. He said this week he felt like the one reason he was released was because he would be a distraction as a backup. He knows
because
he's
going to bring a lot of media attention, and that's not what Ron Rivera wants.
Yeah.
The other reason why I feel like they're not going to even look at Cam at all is because they still have Kyle Allen.
Right.
This is a guy who they brought in to
Solid
be that backup quarterback to Dwayne Haskins last year. He was a guy who played pretty decent until he got hurt. So they still have Kyle Allen.
They still have
Taylor Heinicke. And so there's guys on the team that can actually help this out. Now, if Taylor Heinicke or Kyle Allen gets hurt, then we need to start looking at the waiver wire.
Yeah.
And see who's out there.
But we'll take that as it comes.
Continue to comment on our Facebook page. Questions, concerns, but we want to know your questions.
Yeah.
Like,
what's
next?
next?
Don't you want to know how cool it is to be out on this field?
It's pretty cool.
To actually have a real football game with thousands of fans.
You know what, one thing though I do want to, for the fans that watched on TV today and watched this game and maybe didn't get to experience it in person, one of the most moving moments happened before the players even took the field. And of course we know that it is September 12th, the day after 9/11. And so we had anticipated that they would do something here, and they had a beautiful, beautiful fireworks. They had a beautiful video that they showed, and a beautiful rendition of the national anthem by a young woman who lost her father in the 9/11 attacks. And it was just a really nice, somber ceremony. And I thought it was perfect.
Where were you during 9/11?
I was 16 years old, and I was driving to school, and I heard it on the radio. And then when I got to school, they let us turn on the TVs, and then we watched it all unfold. But yeah, it was 16, so I could grasp, what was going on. That was tough.
I was in college, and I can remember going to buy actually Jay-Z's Blueprint album, and then driving back to school to go to one of my college courses and walking in that student union and seeing one of the Twin Towers. Obviously the plane hit that Twin Tower, and then witnessing the second one hit it. And then I remember, because we were close to New York, so we had a lot of people who had family
grew up
in
in
New
Connecticut.
York, and this, the cell phones weren't working. And I can remember one girl who was out in the courtyard, crying and bawling on the stairs. So it was obviously a tragic moment that a lot of people will never forget where they are. Right. It's pretty much the same reaction, just a different place on this earth when it all happened. And one of the cool things that I thought what the Washington football team did, even though the video was great, Brandon Sheriff, their offensive lineman, wore one of the firefighter helmet to lead this team out of the tunnel. And I thought that was really, really cool to see that. I was actually standing right there. I didn't even notice it until I looked at some of the images and I saw him with the helmet on. I was like, wow.
And I think that kind of sums up, we've seen the hashtag has been never forget. And I think for Brandon Sheriff to do that, it's basically saying we are not forgetting. We're going to play this football game today, but we are well aware of what happened 20 years ago. So it was a really nice ceremony that they had before the game.
We have some message here. LeAnthony Day says, shout out to Chase Young for how he came out to support PJ.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Chase Young, obviously growing up here in the DMV, went to DeMatha High School, played at the field really a stone's throw away from here at the Prince George's Sports and Learning Complex. And right outside of that complex, a few weeks ago, 8-year-old PJ Evans was shot and killed. He was sitting there playing video games in his apartment. Obviously, it was a stray bullet, shot and killed. And that little boy's dream was to play in the NFL. And his favorite player was Chase Young. And he had the opportunity to meet Chase Young. They had a picture together. We saw that Chase had obviously posted that photo of them after PJ's death. And Chase has been an advocate in this community for let's stop the violence. Let's stop killing women and children. Let's stop this.
So Chase Young, he's the son of a police officer. His dad was a police officer. At Ohio State, he majored in criminal justice. He's already been on some of the town hall meetings trying to
change what's happening.
Trying to change. He's actually helped get a few bills passed. So he's already creating change, and the dude's only 22 years old.
I know.
Like, what were you doing when you were 22?
Not that.
I know I wasn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to make things better in the community. But was I on a town hall meeting trying to create a change? And basically, what Chase told me, in the community that raised him.
Right.
And that's why he feels the need, no matter how big his platform is, and this is coming straight from Chase. I'm not making this up. That he feels that no matter how big his platform is, he needs to give back to the place he came from. And he's from Upper Marlboro, and like you mentioned DeMatha High School, but he's from Prince George's County, the same county where PJ Evans is also from.
Right.
So it touched a little bit differently for Chase Young. So for that comment, who was that again? It was Lee Anthony Day. What great
shout
comment.
out.
Great comment.
Well deserved.
There. We also have Gregory Wilson says, I thought the Chargers would have scored more points. The fact that the defense held for 20 points is admirable.
I like your positive thinking. We got a positive Polly on the line.
That's
I like
good, yeah.
it. I like it. You know what? You're seeing the positive out of this. And 20-16, that's not a bad score. You're right. It could always be much worse. It could be much worse. And we've seen what Justin Herbert can do. I mean, he was the offensive rookie of the year last year for a reason. He has some great targets. He has some incredible running backs. They do have an incredible offense that I think many people probably have a lot of those guys on their fantasy football teams. So, I mean, you're right. That's kudos to the defense for, if you want to say, holding them to just 20 points.
Make sure you comment on our Facebook page. Any questions that you have, we're giving you shout outs. Joseph Howell. So you had that positive comment that we just had previously.
Right.
So
Joseph
Joseph's like, I'm gonna bring it back down to earth. That's my stomp the devil on
bringing
Sunday.
it back down.
So he says the passing game was invisible for the whole first half, and I'm going to agree with him. Well, it wasn't invisible. It's just.
Well, you know who was invisible?
We didn't see a lot of it.
Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas were invisible.
So I don't remember if Logan Thomas was targeted, but I do remember that the entire first half, Terry McLaurin had 0 catches, and he wasn't targeted at all.
No, not at all.
And when you have a guy like Terry McLaurin, who's supposed to be your star receiver, when you have your star, you're supposed to give him the rock.
And I think Taylor Heinicke acknowledged that after the game that Logan Thomas and Terry McLaurin are his stars.
Yeah.
And maybe they had a little halftime talk, because right when they came back out here the second half, we all noticed, who did he throw the ball to 3 times right off the bat?
You know what the halftime speech was? It looked just like this. We're going to take you inside the Washington football locker room. This is what happened. All right, get together.
Yeah.
All right, give Terry McLaurin the ball.
Right,
cool.
And then Logan Thomas after that.
All right, cool. Ready?
Okay, cool.
All right, break.
Great.
That's exactly.
And then that's what happened, and it was great for a little while, and then the Chargers figured them out. But you know what?
Yeah.
Week 1 in the books, and that's okay. Started with a loss. They can only get better, right? That means a win on Thursday.
Speaking of getting better, we're going to read this last comment, and we're going to continue to read your comments, though. But Suited or Booted's coming up.
Our favorite segment.
A favorite segment. It's when, guys with the fashion, and we kind of critique and say if it's good or if it's bad or ugly. Basically, suited or booted. So do you keep the suit, or should we kick it out?
I like it.
So our last comment is from Judy Donahue. Wants to know about the officiating. Did you see the face mask call earlier in the game? That was on Antonio Gibson in the first quarter. How can they miss these things?
That was brutal. And for those of you that didn't see it, Antonio Gibson running the ball, and you saw the Chargers guy, grab his face mask, rip his head around, which is, they have those penalties for a reason. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for that player. Ripped him to the ground, no call. That was an obvious blown call. The ref didn't see it for some reason. We don't know, but they showed the replay a lot. And I'm with you, Judy. It was not good. Are you playing?
Yeah, I was
He's
playing
playing
you,
us
my
real
bad.
fast. But yes, that was a blown call, and that happens. So we see that every game in the NFL. Like, there's always something, some pass interference, some face mask that's missed. It's unfortunate, but we have to realize it's humans. They're humans officiating, and
Yeah, but you can't miss a call like that.
it was awful.
Like
I'm
when
not
you-
saying,
when
yeah,
you
it's
see
awful.
When you see the guy basically twist his head around, like you can't miss a call like that.
Right. So bad call.
Yeah, it was a horrible call. Well, it's a horrible miss.
Yeah, it was bad. Let's get to suited or
Yeah,
booted.
I was going to say, we're not going to miss this one because this
Yeah.
we start off with on a high note and we end on a high note.
Right.
And your fans, you guys are going to absolutely love this. It's suited or booted. You want to break down what it's about?
Okay, yeah. So these guys, when they arrive to these games, they come in
Fresh.
style or their own personal preference of style, what they might consider to be stylish. So we kind of look at a few of these things and, we decide if we really think that they should keep that style or if they should boot that style away.
So our first guy for suited or booted is Deron Payne.
Oh, yeah.
And Deron Payne decided to I don't know if it's polyester or silk.
It looks like silk, like that orange
You think it's silk? See, if I'm trying to think, is it silk or polyester that your air, the body, it doesn't breathe, like it makes you really hot? Is that
Yeah.
is that silk?
There it is. You guys are
silk or
seeing it.
polyester?
It's quite the look. And then
Okay.
are those cargo pants? Oh, I
Forget
don't know
about the cargo
that.
pants. It's all about the shirt, and I keep wondering, like, is that?
It's very interesting. So you know what? I'm gonna say boot it. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I've seen him. He can be so stylish sometimes. That's a little different. It's a little different.
It is
I'm gonna say
different.
boot it.
Listen, if I had muscles like Deron Payne, I was a big dude, probably I'll do that too, because obviously he has the first 4 buttons open on his shirt.
He's showing what he got.
But I'm going to say boot it because
Yeah.
I'm not with the whole
Yeah.
polyester silk or whatever heck it is.
The material's not for us.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Who's next?
Who is next? Chase Young. So
Oh, now
so-
we've seen some great fashion from Chase Young.
yeah, he's been pretty good.
He's pretty
for a while.
stylish. He's pretty stylish. He's got his own little thing. So let's see. Let's pull up the thing, the
So-
video here of Chase Young.
So we're looking at Chase Young,
Yeah.
and I'm not even looking at the shirt. Like, I'm going straight for the chain.
Right.
The W chain. That will never
Look
get old for
at
me.
that bling.
I wonder how much you think that thing costs.
I don't even know. More than I make in a year or a lifetime. Not sure.
I feel like, was that low key trying to tell WSA 9 to when you have your contract review?
I would like to be able to afford that lovely piece of jewelry.
Richard Dyer, our general manager, and Michael Valentine,
Yeah.
and also Kathy at the WSA 9 studios. Charlotte McBride wants to purchase the
Yes.
Washington football
I
team
think it would go
W
lovely
chain.
with my outfit.
It will go lovely with their outfit. So there you go. I
You know
helped
what?
you in your
Thank you.
contract negotiation.
Because of that, and Chase, I'm gonna say suit it.
I'm saying
you gotta
suit it
wear
as
it. You
well.
gotta represent. I
I'm
like
saying
it.
suit it.
I like it.
Now
we have one more.
One more, and it's
This
Ryan
is my
Fitzpatrick,
favorite.
and I don't want to boot it, but I have to boot it right away.
Oh.
Because we have some of the players bring out the swag.
Yeah.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick came to the game like
a dad.
how many
fantastic.
kids? How many kids does Ryan Fitzpatrick
7.
have? 7 kids.
He's got 7 kids, and he came representing. Yes, it was like, you know what? I just was outside playing on the playground with my kids. Like, I don't got time for this. I'm not going to try to suit it up. I'm just going to throw on this awesome shirt, maybe some flip-flops too, and I'm going to say suit it because you know what, Ryan? You do you. We love Ryan. He's the most real guy out here, and there you have it.
Listen, all right. So I don't have 7 kids, but I do have 1 kid, and I'm 40. Ryan Fitzpatrick is 37. 37.
Right.
The older you get, us guys, we kind of get lazy on what we kind of want
Right.
to wear.
So you're saying it's kind of lazy look.
Yeah,
Lazy
it
look.
is a lazy look.
Okay.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's been in this league
And we have
17-something
seen him
years. He can
dress
bring out a
up.
little bit
We
of
have
swag.
seen him, yeah.
He can bring a little
The
swag.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
We've seen
and then look
the
at the
swag.
buttons. So if we had to compare what Deron Payne looked
Right.
like with his shirt, having like the first 4 buttons open,
Mm-hmm.
I mean he might as well button up 1 more, and it's going to be like a choke collar. So I'm going to say Ryan Fitzpatrick. I hope you're healthy, but
Yes.
I'm going to say boot it.
All right. I don't
So
know.
is that yeah?
I mean, this is tough. But you know what's great is that when these guys start to go on the road and travel, and when they go to Buffalo in a few weeks, that's when they really bring out, I feel like, their A game. You know, they take time.
A game with the fashion,
with
or
the
A
fashion,
game on the football. Oh,
with the
okay.
fashion. So we're going to see a lot of that. So suited or booted, stay tuned in the coming weeks. I know we're going to see some great stuff. But this week was fun. Week 1, they lost the game, but we had a great time. I think this team learned a lot, and they have to learn a lot, and they have to turn this around pretty quick because, of course, we know they're back on this field Thursday night.
All right, do we have a quick prediction real quick before we
Yes, I'm ready.
wrap this up?
I'm going to say they're going to come back. They're going to win 21-14.
Wait, hold on. See, Melissa's back in the studio, and I forgot all about the slow music. You can't hear it.
Oh, I can't hear it yet.
But we're playing the slow music. So give us your testimony.
Okay, my testimony.
Yeah, tell me how you feel.
Right.
Tell me how you feel.
So I feel like these guys really want to show this hometown crowd what they are made of. I feel like they wanted this. They wanted this today. They were so close. They could taste it. They had the lead. They were right there. And now they have the Giants, that division rival, coming to town on Thursday Night Football. The world is watching. They're going to come out with a W, 21-14. This defense is going to come out better than ever. Benjamin St. Juste, this is your night. You're going to do it. I know. That was nice.
So I agree with you. Melissa, do not re-rack that music. We're not doing that. I'm surprised she didn't play it. But I do agree with you. The music's playing.
It's playing. Okay.
So anyways, just want to let you know that
Now we talk like this.
the Washington football team may have struggled in the Week 1 game, losing 20-16. But I do want to let you guys know that they will bounce back. They will come and perform against the New York Giants, like you mentioned, their division rival.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this like smooth?
I'm not
groove
really
type of
sure.
voice?
Slow jams, not really
Yeah.
sure, but
But everything that you said, Washington football
Okay,
team will
cool,
do that.
cool.
So they'll be
we'll be here
It'll be one-on-one
in 4
but
days.
It will be a tough matchup because obviously Saquon Barkley, their star running back, he's back from his ACL injury. So
back, and he's a beast.
he's been a beast.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're getting the wrap here because you know what? They're about to start
Turn
these
on the sprinklers
in just a little bit. But remember, comment on our Facebook page. Continue to have any questions or even concerns that you have with this Washington football team. We'll try to answer those for you. And we'll be back on Thursday night.
Yeah. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching, guys. We got to get out of here before we get soaking wet. Not from rainwater.